Ngayon po, maingay yung usaping korapsyon dahil po dun sa nangyari sa mga flood control natin at saka yung mga usapang mga corruption sa
Yeah.
government natin. Tapos ang una pong pumasok sa isip ko dun sa topic na yun is parang yung na-manifest ni Manuel Quezon.
Mhm.
Meron po siyang quote, ito po yung sinabi niya. I would rather have a government run like hell by Filipinos than a government run like hell than a government run like heaven by Americans or by foreigners po. So parang nagkatotoo
Okay.
Pero ma'am, ito, alisin na natin sa usaping politika.
Okay.
Lagyan na natin in general po sa buhay. Ma'am, para sa inyo, ano mas importante? Happiness or freedom?
You cannot have happiness without freedom. They go together. It's not an either or thing, you know. Profound happiness has to do with the fact that you're able to express yourself freely. You're able to connect with everything that you'd like to connect with freely, but not from an egotistic perspective. You know, to me, freedom is precisely when there is nothing that gets in the way, including yourself. When the ego is so big that, you know, the narcissistic ego gets in the way, you cannot have freedom. This is the reason why in Zen Buddhism there's a question: how do you get out of the bottle without breaking the bottle? How do you arrive at freedom without destroying everything that surrounds you, without destroying your family, society, your relationships? But I derived the question from there, which is my own version: how do you get out of the bottle if the bottle is you? And ultimately, the bottle is you.
Ang bigat nun. No? So parang technically mo parang yung sinabi na para maging free ka, kailangan mo rin constantly binabasag o nire-reinvent yung sarili mo. Parang ganun.
Ang sarili mo. Because ultimately, really, you get in the way. And you know, if I may go to the story of the
Opo.
ugly duckling, parang there was a metamorphosis. It's a very inspirational story. We tell children that the ugly duckling metamorphosed into a beautiful swan. So it's a lovely story. But I have another take on that. And I tell my students, you know, the ugly duckling, the story, the version that you have heard is that the ugly duckling metamorphosed into a beautiful swan. Well, I tell you, the ugly duckling never metamorphosed into a beautiful swan. Never. Will never metamorphose into a beautiful swan. And then parang, their heart started to sink. Talaga, hindi ba? Okay. And I said, and I finally dropped, you know, the punchline. The ugly duckling never metamorphosed into a beautiful swan. He had always been a swan.
Totoo.
Only he didn't know. So his suffering had to do with self-ignorance. Maraming causes ng suffering. First, the comparison. The ducks, the other ducks, you know, comparing themselves to him. Iba itsura niya, iba itsura nila. Siyempre iba, because he's not a duck. And so you criticize the other precisely because he does not look like you. He's not, you know, there are no similarities. And that is one cause of the suffering. But the ugly duckling did not have to go through that kind of pain, you know, and rejection and negative emotions. Had he known, well, of course I don't look like you because I'm not a duck. I'm a swan. And so this is why, how do you get out of the bottle if the bottle is you? Criticisms have their place in our lives, and it's nice to listen to them. But sometimes there are no basis. It does not matter. Okay, so it's part of your freedom and open-mindedness that you listen, and then it's part of your wisdom to determine which are constructive criticisms that will expand your consciousness and which are criticisms that just want to hurt you. And there are people who like to criticize for the sake of criticizing. It's not because they'd like to elevate the level of conversation to something higher. It's not because they'd like to invite a better quality of existence. You know, yung talagang the cruelty of the hearts that they have, basta makakriticize lang. Or kasi sarado yung utak, narrow-minded, closed-minded, you have to determine which is which and not cause yourself unnecessary suffering.
Totoo.